What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Matt Ryan podcast. Merry Christmas, I
Happy
guess.
Hanukkah.
Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa. All of it
I
is
think
welcome here on the
as
Matt
of
Ryan
recording,
podcast.
this is Hanukkah, I believe, if I do say so
Yeah, I think it
myself.
started. Yeah, it started Sunday.
Hmm.
It was a early Christmas present for me because you came down to Bowling Green. Because Christina's your future wife, for all that does not know the ins and outs of the life of Ryan Gooden. Christina's sister graduated at Western Kentucky University, so I got to see you
Go
guys
Terps.
this weekend, and that was pretty awesome. So, but then you guys had to go all the way to Knoxville the next day.
Yeah, actually, like Chattanooga, which was even further, so it was a 4 hour drive. It was 4 hour drive to get to Bowling Green because it snowed like crazy. 4 hours to Chattanooga, and then another 4 hours back to Lexington. So it was a
So
fun trip.
who's all in that car?
Just me and her for most of the, actually every single one
So
of those.
so what is a drive with you, a
So
long drive? Like, what does it consist of? Are you guys podcasting it, or because I know for a fact if it's you and me, most
yeah,
of it is, we'll get our sports talk in there like it always is, but it's 2010 bangers for a
easily.
3 hour car ride that will feel like 45 minutes.
Yeah. So on the way down, I will say we did have her grandmother in the car, so not a lot of music happening, unfortunately, and it was very
Oh, okay.
snowy, rough drive. What should have been a 2.5 hour drive took 4 hours because we were going 50 on a highway. So that turned into more of a talking drive, which took forever. Now the way to Knoxville or Chattanooga, wherever we went, that was specifically the Divorced Dad's Bangers playlist on Spotify. If you haven't checked it out, go check it out. Classics of just the stuff that you want to see, especially if you're a divorced dad. And then on the way back up, it depends on who's driving. If she's driving, it's always music. If I'm driving, I'm more of a podcast guy. It gets me through the drive easy. We did stick with the 2010s. We threw it back, and it sucks to say that that's a throwback now because that's when we were there. But even the 2000s, we were there, and it sucks that we have 2 decades of throwbacks that we are now a part of. But 2010 throwbacks, it's a new playlist that we've got, and it's pretty good. It
But yeah, I
really,
mean, you can never beat 2000s, 2010s on the road trip.
think about seventh grade, the music we were listening to. I mean, it was just
I mean, if there was an age I'd like to go back to, 12 years old in seventh grade. 2K was better. Just everything was better. Don't get me started on 2K. I've already had my gripes about it.
are you a podcast guy on the road, like by
Yeah, I
yourself?
love I love Russillo.
Okay.
Russillo does.
See, you do one of
I
those
I
like,
I
are,
I would love to do this. It doesn't make any sense for us to do this because we're in our mid 20s. But he's got a segment called Life Advice on, man, some of the stories are just great.
yeah,
It's awesome.
we should be the
Yeah,
ones calling in.
yeah. You can write an email. You write an email to the show. You give them a situation. What do I do? And then they answer. So, but there's some pretty crazy stories. So yeah, I'll listen. I'll mix it up. You know what I'll do is YouTube videos. I'll go through YouTube and on like what's recommended for me, just short 5 minute, 6 minute clips on some stuff is really what is happening in my car for about 3 hours on a road trip. So,
Yeah, I like to
um,
do 3 1 hour podcasts to really break it up. Makes it
yeah,
feel like
yeah,
you,
no, we
yeah,
can't go full 3 hours.
yeah. I'm not doing a Joe Rogan
It's too
podcast the
much.
whole
Yeah,
way.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's too much. Speaking of podcasts, let's get into some hoops. So we're really in the middle of the season. I want to go over the standings because it has been a couple of weeks since the last time, and we'll get into our picks for Cardio King, all those awards, because now we have made it to where we can do shit. I thought he retired award, which is our monthly. and
Respect.
then Traffic Cone Award for just an awful defender. I think I have a pretty obvious one for that one. I think my oh shit one is also
Now, remind
a pretty
me,
obvious one.
are we doing the monthly awards for the weekly ones that we do? Like, do those
No,
also get a
I think we
monthly?
just keep those weekly. I think,
Okay.
and then at the end
Yearly.
we have our you know we could do and we could talk about this off the podcast, but maybe towards the end of the season that last month we come up with a top three that we won like in the finals, and then we just see who plays the best in that final month of the regular season
Or the worst.
or the worst. I say this from a fan's perspective. I'm not rooting for anybody to play bad, but it would be kind of hilarious us just watching Sam Hauser and just rooting for him to miss threes on a given night.
Little
So
teaser? Okay.
a little, little teaser. Anyways, let's get to those standings. The Eastern Conference. I want to break these down. We'll start from the top five. So Detroit is still in a really good spot. 20-5, the first team to 20 in the Eastern Conference. Second team to 20 wins because the OKC Thunder are still an incredible basketball team, even though they did shockingly lose a game to the San Antonio Spurs. Knicks are at 18-7, playing some really good basketball. Probably the most shocking team, though, in that three spot is the Boston Celtics. Now, coming into the season, you said that you didn't even think Boston was going to be a playoff team, right? I'm not. Hold up.
Whoa.
Hold up, I'm not. I'm
Wow.
not saying. Listen, listen,
Whoa.
listen. I'm doing this as a segue. I'm not doing this to call you out. If
I
we're
mean,
going to do that, you have easy hits on me.
I mean, we're
I said the
6 minutes
Charlotte
in.
Hornets. I said the Charlotte Hornets were going to the finals this year. They are not. I said it was going to be the Pelicans and the Hornets in the finals. The Pelicans are at 5-40,000 losses, and the Charlotte Hornets are at 8-18. They've actually changed the face of their franchise. It sounds like there were a bunch of reports today that said Connor Knippel is now the face of the franchise.
Just caught me off
Shocking,
guard. Okay, just go
shocking
ahead.
that they don't want LaMelo Ball as the face of the franchise because
The
he's
natural
just
born
been
leader.
so sturdy. He's just been this rock solid base to have. Anyways,
I
um, the Boston Celtics. I say this because there was not a lot of belief in them going into the season, and rightfully so because of the Biggs situation. They did not have a promising power forward and starting center that you could really rely on, but now they're sitting here 15-10. We're still early on in the season, and it's a very crowded middle of that Eastern Conference. So it's like, they lose the next game, you can drop down to the 7 or 8 spot. So it's not like they're just sitting by themselves in that three spot, but kind of shocking right now, given the start of their season. They were just sitting at 500, and they've been playing much better basketball.
Yeah, I think a lot of credit goes to Jalen Brown. I mean, he's stepped up in a big way. He's averaging about 29 points a game, but the shooting splits haven't dipped. Sometimes you'll see a star player go out and that second guy kind of step in, and he'll take some more shots, but the percentages aren't what you're used to seeing from that guy. His splits have actually gone up. He's shooting about 37% from three, 50% from the field, with 29 points a game. Same rebounds, same assists. He's pretty much the exact same player, which is hard to do without having your star guy there consistently. So, more more Jalen Brown being a number one guy is very impressive. I mean, the stretch he's been on the last 2 weeks is insane. 42, 30, 30, 30 in those respective games. But I just think more credit needs to go to him. He's had a tremendous season. The reason that I had the Celtics so low, though, since we want to bring it up, was that this is my worry,
Oh,
is
that's
that
too funny.
Jalen Brown is what's making the Celtics go. And God forbid, not hoping, not praying, not anything of this, but God forbid he goes down with injury this year. Where do you go after that? Like, at what point are you just out of guys? That'd be losing your top four productive players out of last year. With all due respect to Derek White, who's a great player, but he can't be your number one. So they're one Jaylen Brown injury away from kind of imploding on themselves. So, but he's been an MVP candidate. So
Yeah, I think the reason why they are playing better is kind of you mentioned it. Derek White has been he had a really slow start to the season, but his numbers have picked up overall this season. Though he's shooting overall from the field 39%, and then he's 33% from three. This is a guy who's almost a 37% career 3-point shooter. And I know it comes with when you don't have Jason Tatum out there, you're going to have the defense is going to look to you more. So because Derek White is, I guess, that second option. Arguably, Peyton Pritchard can create his own shot too, but
that's why
probably
I was
Derek White's the
impressed
second
with.
option.
That's why I was impressed with Jaylen Brown. I mean, you go from when you move up a spot, whether that's Derek White. Now Derek White went from like 4 or 5 to 2 in a matter of half a season, but you go from that one jump up. I mean, and Jaylen Brown is not the shooting splits are really what intrigues me, and how many attempts per game are you taking? What are the quality of shots that you're taking? So to see Derek White be more of a focal point of the offense, you are going to see his numbers dip. That's usual. That's okay. That's why it's more impressive for me that Jaylen Brown didn't. The bigger question is, um, I thought Pritchard would take a little bit of a step up. He's improved. He has. Um, I kind of thought he would take more of the scoring load, but his shooting splits have also taken a hit. I mean, he's shooting 33% from three. He does have 5 assists a game, kind of taking on that point guard role a little bit more. 17 points per game, really good. If that's your one guard, you're not going to be upset with that. It's just you know the seasons that he's had, he's always been kind of the sixth man, the guy off the bench that comes in and scores, throwing in that starting role, being more facilitator. The shooting splits, I mean, he might pick it up towards the end of the season, but just starting off slow.
Yeah, and maybe the Celtics look at that as a possibly a really good thing to build off of. Is Derek White and Pritchard are in shooting slumps, and once they figure that out, still being a top three seed in the Eastern Conference, maybe they feel pretty good about themselves. But yeah, the Celtics, it's still early in the season, middle of December, but 15-10, pretty good spot for a team that lost the face of their franchise. You know what's really interesting is if you swapped Brown with Tatum, do you think they would have the same record?
It's a good question.
That's because there's always been that conversation of
I don't follow
last
that.
couple of years is they're going to need to trade one or something like that. Who is it? Do you do Brown or Tatum? And would the Boston Celtics be sitting here at 15-10 if Jason? I think so. I think Jason Tatum can absolutely do what Jaylen Brown is doing. So they're pretty. I think Tatum's better, but I don't think they're far off. They're two great players. We just need to
No, and
look at it
he's
as that.
the fact that they like. I don't think people will realize how underrated a move was getting Anthony Simons from the Trailblazers. I mean, he is a spark plug off the bench. He will have the occasional game where he goes over 13, but you're going to get um, the also occasional 25, 30 point night from him off the bench, which is really big. The big man spot I was worried about, uh, is it Keita? I don't know how to
Yeah.
say his name. The center that's been playing up there. He's doing better than I thought. Almost have a double double, 10 and 8, um, with about a block a game. So the big man spot was what I was worried about. They seem to be doing all right without him. The bench players got to step up. Sam Hauser's shooting um, almost like I've never seen a guy be more in a slump in my life. And I mean, it's the third time we've mentioned him. We'll mention him again later on in the show, but he's got to step up. I mean, I know you're getting that attention now because there's nobody else on that bench outside of Simons that can create his own shot. But it's rough watching him trying to shoot the ball today or
Yeah.
these past few
Real
weeks.
quick, it is Keita. Do you know how to pronounce his first name?
Sure do. Um, Namias.
Close. It's a Avitsa. Avitsa. I know.
What?
I'm joking with you. I thought because Denny Avitsa. No,
Of
it's
course. Odvio,
Nami
yeah.
Namiash. Namiash.
Okay, that was close. And
And
by that, I
Mia
mean I wasn't
Shikata.
even close. Yeah.
So that's my fault. Bad
And you
joke.
notice that I didn't even try the first name earlier, and there was a reason for that.
Yeah, because then you'll end up saying Ibiza and looking like an idiot on the basketball podcast. So, but yeah, Boston sitting at the 3 spot. Orlando 15-11. Toronto's still there at 5. Miami at 6. Philly at 7. Cleveland's probably been the most disappointing team. They haven't been healthy all year. Garland started the year on the injured list, but they're 15-12. You know what's crazy is if the playoffs started today, seeing Cleveland have to be an 8 seed and then go on the road, probably like if they stayed in that 8 spot, having to go on the road to face a number 1 Detroit
Detroit.
Pistons.
Yeah.
The Eastern Conference is really up for grabs. uh and it would make me if I saw this field, it would really infuriate me if I was a Knicks fan and we did not get to the finals this year. It just feels, I know the Pistons are playing really good, but this it feels like, because of the spot that the Knicks are in, because the Pistons are still young. The Knicks, all those guys are in their prime. They built this roster to go to a championship. I mean, it really does feel like it is get to the finals or bust for the New York Knicks looking at this field.
And you'll notice a difference in the distribution of minutes. I don't know if Mike Brown has figured out that you can't play everybody 45 minutes a game like Tom Thibodeau did, but that is part of the longevity of an NBA season is you're going 100 games if you're going to make it to the finals. So you can't play these guys 40 minutes a game. I mean, you got Josh Hart, who's normally playing 35 minutes plus, playing 29 minutes, 30 minutes. It sounds like nothing when you cut 5 minutes, but that's 5 minutes a game, and you're playing back to back. Some nights you're playing 3 times in a week. So 15 minutes of actual NBA game time is huge to cut back on in a week. So I think he's playing the long game of, we're going to make a deep run in these playoffs. It's just we can't run out of gas like we normally have towards the end there. So I think he's playing the long game, but they look good. I think they're just kind of, I don't want to say coasting through the season, but they're definitely, they're not full throttle like they used to be all year.
Yeah, I feel like we haven't heard, nobody's really giving a lot of praise to Jalen Brunson. And I get it. Like, there's so many players that are up for MVP conversation. I'm not saying he's up for MVP conversation, but he's having an awesome year. He's averaging 29 a game, 49% from the field, 38% from 3 on, the number 2 team in the Eastern Conference, top 5 team in the league. So
Yeah.
I feel like, and maybe that's my fault. I need to change up the feed a little bit on my socials, that I'm just not seeing a lot of love or a lot of things surrounding Jalen Brunson for like, he'll be an all-star, but maybe for MVP talk. I mean, they're 18-7. They have the third, fourth best record in the NBA right now.
Yeah.
Saying something.
I just think it's some of it's the
He'll just never
game.
be looked at
Yeah,
that way.
some of it's the game. So it's hard to fall in love with that game that he's got.
But yeah, Cleveland 15-12, Atlanta 15-12. I love watching Atlanta. Jalen Johnson is the
Most
man.
improved.
Had a triple double at halftime.
I
I want to
saw
say a
that.
week or two ago. He's
Question for
just,
you. I'm looking at these
yes,
stats, or these standings. The Bucks at 10, they're 11-16.
yeah, about
Giannis is
this.
out for an extended period of time. What if you're the Bucks and you were the GM? What is your move?
Yeah, it's time. It's time to rebuild, right? It's time to rebuild. It's not like, think about the next next couple of years. They just spent all that money on Miles Turner. Where's your next move for a guy to kind of back him up? Be that number 2 or that young promising guy. I like Ryan Rollins. He's not an all-star kind of guy, at least not yet. He's still on the younger side. Was he 25 years old? So, but I don't see where I don't view Ryan Rollins as a guy like, well, even if Giannis can figure it out and come back, they'll take over. You know, you start thinking about next year too. Oh, well, Ryan Rollins is going to take that next step and become like a Tyrese Maxey, so we'll be fine. It's not like that. So, and they just don't have a lot of capital. Now, I know is the easy thing to say, and probably the sexy thing to say, is to trade Giannis because that's going to get the headlines. That's going to make things really interesting, depending on where he goes. It sounds like Giannis doesn't really know what he wants because anytime you see a reporter talk about the situation, you know, one week you'll hear, "Oh, he's having discussions with the GM," and then next reporter will say, "No, he's committed to Milwaukee."
You know,
The safe thing, the safe bet is to trade him, right?
yeah, I mean, I think Giannis is playing. He's playing it smart, which is I don't want every fan of Milwaukee to hate me because I ask out, but he wants
They
to.
shouldn't though. They
But you know how it is. I mean, as soon as you turn your back, quote unquote, on a fan base, then you're pretty much dead to them. I don't think it's how it should work either, but that's just the way it works. Now, the flip side of that is he wants to contend for a championship. You're not doing that, Milwaukee, and nowhere in their future shows that they're, on the way up or just 1 or 2 years away. It's going to be quite a while to get that second guy, especially with the way your cap is created. So I don't think it's too much longer before he goes, and if he hasn't already, gone to the front office and gone, listen, I love Milwaukee. Grew my roots here. I know everything about this place. I don't think this is the place for me anymore. I need to compete for a championship. Is that a bad thing? No. Does that sound better than publicly outing the Bucks saying, I want to trade, I'm not going to play here anymore, and then your trade value goes down? So if he does it behind closed doors and lets them still have a good deal, then maybe we're talking, and maybe you get somebody from San Antonio or maybe the New York Knicks or one of these teams that can give up quite a bit of capital in return to restart your rebuild while you still
yeah.
have him. The biggest part is you can't let it get to the point where he physically comes out and says, uh, you know, this fan base has been great, but the GM and all the people, like, they're not listening to me, so I have to come out and say I want to be traded. I'm no longer playing for the Bucks, because then your value goes down tremendously after that.
Yeah, Bleacher Report came out with an article. This was a couple weeks ago, but they just came out with mock drafts. Bleacher Report's so good at doing this, those mock drafts.
Yeah,
Whether you think they're crazy or not, I want to go over some of them. The first one that they have is the Lakers, and here's the annoying part, and a lot of people. This is why they hate the Lakers, is because whenever there's a big player about to get traded, no matter what, the Lakers are going to be involved. That's just how it is. But the mock that they have on here is Giannis to the Lakers. Bucks get Hachimura, Vanderbilt, Gabe Vincent, Maxi Kleba, Dalton Connect, and then first round pick swaps for 26, 28, 30, 32. So pretty much the Lakers are giving up their entire bench and first round picks for the
a bag of
next
shit.
5 years. Yeah, the
It's a
best
bag of shit.
player, the best. Well, the first round pick swaps, I don't even know if
It's a bag of shit.
that's
It's
not.
it's a Lakers reporter that gave you a bag of shit and
That's
said,
not even.
"Here,
Well, I was about to say that's not even. You know what? We need to start posting our mock trades, and just we need to start coming up with our own mock trades and
I
posting
will."
them. And they just need to be the most ridiculous thing, like
Yeah,
Giannis to the Lakers for Vanderbilt and a 2026 second,
let me send him to
and
OKC and give up Isaiah Joe and a third round pick that doesn't even fucking exist for next year, and see if they
no,
take
you
it.
know what? I actually have one. I'm gonna take every single winner that we have from the Linsanity Award. We're gonna do a 7-team trade where everybody just swaps their Linsanities, but Giannis somehow ends up with the Lakers.
God, I can't stand. I mean, and the reason this happens is
You
because
know
they
what?
go out and grab Luca.
That's the second foul on me. Bad joke with the pizza on me. Looking up this gosh dang Bleacher Report. Oh my gosh.
Well, here's the thing: if there's a realistic offer, if the value is still what it is, and I think it is right now, because he hasn't said anything publicly about wanting to leave, it's got to be a few first round picks, a young star player, and maybe a role player. And you look at teams like the Spurs, and you look at teams like, um, that's about it. That's the only team I can think of that's got. I mean, think about it. The Spurs have a top five pick in this draft because,
Hey,
um,
you know what, too? I fully expect by at least next season for college basketball to be a professional league. So I'm sure there can be like a cross play situation where you can get Cam Boozer for Giannis or something like that. Duke can
yeah,
give up some NIL money and send it their way or something like that. So there's an
I.
option too.
It's just let me look up the as of right now the draft order. I think it's
I will
still.
say there's one that I think you might like on this article from Bleacher Report.
Well, hold on. Let me see. Would you take this? Would you take? It'd be tough, but I don't know if the Spurs are willing to do it, and I don't know if I would if I was the Spurs. But would you take Dylan Harper? Maybe not the top five pick, but maybe another first round pick for the next 2 years, and say Keldon Johnson and Harrison Barnes to make the money work for Giannis. So you get a star, you get
Yeah,
two
I
first
would
round
think
picks,
about it.
and two role players. I just don't know how much more you can get. And Dylan Harper could be a star, so you could get that if you really believe in him. I just don't know who else can afford Giannis, let alone who has the capital to trade for him.
Yeah. Well, the thing is if the Spurs are going to make that trade, it has to be Dylan Harper. Dylan Harper is gone because there's no way you're going to trade Castle and Wemby. So
No, I mean if you could get away with trading Fox and keep the young core, you might, but I don't know if they're willing to do that, especially with the season
well,
they've
yeah,
had.
but the thing is a team like the Bucks, I would want somebody really young like
Correct.
Harper. You know, Fox is getting into his prime, so it's going to end up a situation where he's 31 and you're going to have to trade him again.
Right.
Yeah, the Spurs, if they want to make a trade like that, they have to be okay with, and I feel like they would have no problem doing that. I'm sure they love Harper, but we're talking you have your stars, you have a young core still. I'm sure they would have no problem doing that. Um, yeah, I would definitely think about it. I would want another first round pick in there
Fair.
as well, but yeah, I
And
definitely
maybe
think.
you want the top five pick. And I don't even know if it's still top five anymore, but I know for a while there it was projected to be a top five pick because some team, I'm trying to remember which team it was, decided to give all their picks. Maybe it wasn't the Spurs. Maybe it was OKC.
Yeah.
OKC is the one who has it. I got my teams mixed
Yeah,
up.
they just got everything. They have everything.
San Antonio has Atlanta's pick. So if Atlanta turns to shit this year, which they're projected 14 right now, then maybe that pick's worth it. And by that time, um, you can get that one plus two more first. So you have a lottery pick and then two late first in the next few years. But I just don't know who is the other team that you had that you said I might
The
like.
this one's the Atlanta Hawks.
Let me see if I can guess the package. Is it so Atlanta? So I'm not giving up Jalen Johnson if I'm Atlanta. I don't care if it's Giannis or
No,
not.
it's two players, and then picks.
Is it Zachary Risachet and who else do they have? Onyeko? Okay, who was it?
I mean, it's straight up Trey Young. It's
Oh, I didn't know if they would do that. Okay,
yeah, it's Trey Young and Reece Sachet for 2026 first round pick, 2028 first round. So the Bucks are getting Reece Sachet, Trey Young, three first round picks, and the Atlanta Hawks get Giannis Antetokounmpo. You know, if Atlanta really believes that Jalen Johnson is,
the guy.
I mean, going to be top 10, of which he's 23 years old, averaging triple doubles. So I think he can. In the next 5 years, Jalen Johnson can be a top 7 player in the league. There's a real possibility. So if you really believe that Jalen Johnson the next couple of years is going to take that step, and you think you can win with Giannis Antetokounmpo, you 100% do it. And figure out the rest. In an Eastern Conference, Giannis, Jalen Johnson, and some other pieces that they have, especially with Nikhil Alexander Walker, the way he's playing, and some other guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, Atlanta might be an interesting team. I'm not going to say they'll win it, but they could go on a run in the Eastern Conference
I
with
think keeping
Giannis.
him now, obviously the Bucks would probably never trade him in the East because you don't want to see him in the playoffs. But uh, sending him out west it changes so many things because every single star is in the West. You would have to do some realignment of some sort because
Yeah,
at some point there's got to be a somebody knock on the door that goes, "Hey, we have 12 teams deep in the West that could destroy pretty much every team in the East." I mean, the East has 3 teams and that's about it. So at some point there's got
yeah.
to be some
Well,
realignment.
that's the thing. I go back to Boston's the number 3 seed in the East. The number 6 team in the West is the Timberwolves. And I think without a doubt, if those two teams matched up in a playoff series, everybody would take the Minnesota Timberwolves to win that
Yeah,
series. I would say,
and
I would
and
say a lot of people would say that.
and they're two
So
games of a better record, and they're the 6th seed. So I mean, the Timberwolves are a game back from the 2 seeded Knicks on the East, and they're the 6th in the West. Like it's crazy how there's just so
yeah,
many teams in the West, so many
yeah.
teams.
Anyways, we can get into it. We got pretty much done talking about the East. To wrap it up, Chicago's 10-15. They have fell off a cliff. They looked like they were actually going to kind of be exciting, and then I mean, Josh Giddey did get hurt there for a little bit, but ever since he's come back, they haven't been able to find that momentum
Right.
that they started the season with. I don't want to get into the Hornets, breaking my heart. Brooklyn 7-18, Indiana 6-20, and then Washington is at the gutter 4-20.
One last thing on
Yes,
the East. Did you? So I didn't know this, or I did know this, but I forgot. I, New Orleans traded their first round pick this year for Derek Queen last year. We talked about it on draft night when it happened, and we were like, "What is New Orleans doing?" Now they did. It seemed like they knew what they were doing when they drafted Derek Queen. However, that pick is now projected to be number 2 in the draft. So Atlanta would have the number 2 pick, which is probably part of that package deal. So now you're talking
Atlanta
Trey.
would.
Yeah, so you're talking giving up Trey Young, Reese Shea, and then the number 2 pick projected, which could be
Yeah.
Debatza, Cambuser, any of
So I
those.
think
That
if you're Milwaukee,
that sweetens the deal a
if
little
you're
bit.
Milwaukee and Atlanta presented that to you, you would do it today. You
Wow.
I mean, just imagining having Trey Young. Now, Trey Young is not,
Nobody gets
he's
people in the
not old.
seats. That's what I mean. You gotta remember some of these GMs they have to keep the ticket sales up, and Trey Young is a star that will at least get you butts in the
Well, yeah, if,
seats.
if you have Trey Young, Risasheg, former number 2 pick, he's still
Number 1.
developing, and then yeah, you somehow in the lottery end up with Debansta.
Yeah.
Now we're talking a renaissance for the Bucks organization.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, that's interesting.
All
Western
right, let's go to the West.
Conference, OKC 24-2. They got Jalen Williams back. They're just amazing. They're just amazing.
Yeah, it's
Anything
annoying.
anything on the Thunder? Do you want to say?
They're good. They are. They're good. Yeah, that's all I got.
Yeah, yeah. Denver 18-6, second spot in the West. Houston at 16-6. Lakers 18-7. How do you feel LeBron's been doing since he's come back?
He's been good. He's trying to find his spots. I feel like. I mean, obviously, everybody talks about the 10 point streak that went away in the 2011 finals, but nobody talks about that. I just don't know.
You would
Again,
remember that.
the fit for this team, I still can't get behind it yet. I mean, we watched the game last night where Phoenix and the Lakers were playing, and there was a confusion on Dylan Brooks got teed up and ejected, or it was a 6 foul, one of the two. There was a technical free throw. LeBron steps up and takes it. and misses it, and it was supposed to be a game go ahead free throw. In the presser, JJ Redick goes, "Yeah, it's actually like Luka was supposed to take that shot. We have a guy that's supposed to take that every single time. It's always Luka." Meanwhile, LeBron's post game presser was like, "Why wouldn't I take that shot?" So it's more of like a LeBron's not willing to give up that he's no longer the number one option anymore, which I think it's got to be tough when you're the best player in the world for that long. So it's an interesting dynamic. I want to see how that works when we come down the stretch a
I
little.
still think they just don't have the bench.
Yeah,
They can win. This Lakers team. It's funny. They can go and add Luca. It just is the same team. It's been the same team the last 5 years. They're going to win their games in the regular season. Might make a little bit of a playoff run. Might win a series or two. But you watch them and you look at them. They just do not have the team that is going to beat a Thunder or a Nuggets or those top tier teams.
yeah.
It's been the same team the last 5 years. That's kind of where they stand. Spurs 18-7. They might have gotten some pretty nice respect from the rest of the league because they were one of the two teams that have beaten the Thunder this year in the NBA Cup. Timberwolves are at 17-9. Suns at 14-12 in the 7th spot, and the Warriors are at 13-14. So if the playoffs started today, your Golden State Warriors would have to go on the road to play the OKC Thunder, and
Yeah,
then
that wouldn't look
Phoenix.
great. It's they the Warriors are weird. They have been relying on Steph heavily. He's had two 40 something point games, and
That's
yet they've
just been
lost
all
both of them.
season, man. It's
Like Jimmy hasn't really stepped up the way it's not. He's just been good. It's not been anything great. He hasn't had the one game that kind of sticks out or anything like that. Um, the team isn't.
I will say though, Jimmy. This is Jimmy Butler. He's never been a regular season.
Yeah,
He
yeah,
he
and
he
I'm
turn.
fine
I
with
feel like
that.
he's more of a he turns it on when he has to.
Yes, but at some point you can't be the 8th seed. You cannot go play.
Oh
You can't
no,
turn it on to
no,
go play OKC. As much as I would love to see that Cinderella happen, it's just we're at the point of this run where it's you to be a part of that championship contending status, which I don't think they are. I mean, you got to at least get to the 5 or 6 seed and hope that you can get a lucky draw
yeah,
in the
no.
playoffs.
The West is going to be a lot of fun to watch that last month of the season because you're going to have 4 or 5 teams in the middle of that pack that are racing for the number 2 and 3 seeds because you do not want to get into a second round. You don't want to have to play. You don't have to get the 4 or 5 seed. Have to play a team like that's pretty even with you. Have to go
Mm-hmm.
7 games in a series and then face off against the OKC Thunder the very next series when it's not even the conference finals. So
That and
the 2 and 3 seeds very important in the West.
like with the way this team is constructed, I don't. You could trade. I mean, everybody, Kaminga Pods, all them. You could go get Giannis and pair Jimmy, Giannis, and Steph. The team's not winning a Western Conference Finals like that. That's how stacked the West is, but it's also how poorly constructed this team is as far as the bench goes, as far as the role players go. Those three couldn't carry you to a championship or at least a finals appearance this year. Like it's that bad.
Yeah, I will say that there is a kind of a huge discrepancy. Yes, yes. One from 1 through 8, and then 9 through 15 in the West. Your top 8 teams. They're all. I know Golden State's in there at 13-14, but Steph has had his injuries this year. If they were fully healthy, they'd probably get a couple of games, and maybe they're the 7 seed. So, but from 9 to 15, all those they're not going anywhere. Now Dallas has been playing better since they got Anthony Davis back. I'm still not a believer in them,
Yeah.
but one team just looking at this list that actually I like is Utah. I really like Keontae George. He's been hooping. And then Ace Bailey's been playing better. They actually have something to build off of. I listen. We've been through this. I loved the Hornets. I loved I'm just saying the Utah. I would be excited if I was a Utah fan, and here's why: the Utah teams that we've seen post Donovan Mitchell and Rudy Gobert and Joe Ingles, um, post that post that team, Royce O'Neal, post that
Yeah.
team. Who else was on that team?
Yeah, I mean, you
I'm
got
just
them
gonna
all.
list I'm just gonna list off the
Mike
2021 Utah
Conley.
Jazz roster. Mike Conley. Post that team, they've just been bad. Some would say dog shit. That's another word. But there's there's life with this Utah team. There's hope with George and the way he's playing in Ace Bay. I think this is a different Utah team. They're going to be sitting around 500, and people are going to be like, you know what? Playing is a possibility this year, and playoffs, like actual top playoffs, are a possibility next year. So
More power
I'm
to
just
you.
saying,
I'm glad
like
you
they
think that.
make that move for Giannis, and we see Giannis Antetokounmpo in a Utah Jazz jersey. We're talking finals. We're talking Utah Jazz and Charlotte Hornets for the 2027. All right, that's
I
strike three.
can't.
You get to host. You get to host next week.
I can't wait until we get to some of these picks because I've got some stats for you. Because you named three guys that are going to be on these award shows later on the night, and I can't wait to get
No
to it.
shot. No,
You
I
did.
did not.
You'll just wait and see. Just wait and see.
Okay, well, there's some great players. Cody Williams is going to be an all star next year. So,
Yeah,
um,
and the Shanghai League. That guy's going overseas as fast as possible.
Utah. Anyways, they're 9-15. Clippers, they're done. 6-19. Kings are done. Dude, watching the Sacramento Kings play basketball, I would
That's a choice.
rather. I'm looking at my cabinet right now. I'd rather ram my fingers into that cabinet and slam it shut with a hammer than
Yeah.
watch Sacramento Kings play go up and down the floor.
Well, there's
The
this
New
cool
Orleans
thing
Pel- the,
called options that you don't have to watch them play basketball. You can avoid them at all costs, like I
That's
have.
right. I didn't. I guess I could watch a movie or something. I just.
Yeah.
And then the Pelicans sit dead last. Yeah, Zion has no future with the team, but they do right now have maybe the rookie of the year. Derek Queen has been balling out. Jer- Fears for that point
Jeremiah
guard
Fears, yeah.
spot he's actually been playing really well. So maybe Pelicans,
Here's what
maybe there's
I don't. You ever thought about, like, if they fully blew up everything and, went full rebuild, restarted everything, traded Zion, got what you could, traded Herb Jones, got what you could, traded Trey Murphy, got what you could, and just stack up on as many picks because you gave up your one this year. See if you can get the picks back from Atlanta, and really go full rebuild if that would kind of get out of this mud that they're stuck in. Because they're finally at the point where they're the worst team in the league and they don't have their own pick. So, like, they're usually in that middle area where you're, what do you call it? Purgatory?
yeah, pretty much.
Um, and they're finally at the spot where they're now the worst team in the league behind Washington, and they give up their pick for rookie of the year, possibly Derek Queen. But is that worth it in the long run? We'll see.
Well, yeah, it would be awesome to know. You make all those trades and then you have Fears and Queen to build off of and work around them. So that would
Yeah.
be it would be a nice little bidding point. Well, that's the NBA. Anything else that you want to hit on? We got the
Um,
Christmas games. We got the Christmas games coming up, but I feel like we'll be able to do a podcast before Christmas, so we can.
yeah.
I feel like for fun we can give our Christmas picks. It's just 5 games, and we can have a fun little game and see like who's going to score
Yeah.
most points in a game that day or something like that. So
We'll do that in the next pod because we'll get a pod in before
yeah, hundred
Christmas.
percent, 100%. Let's talk some college hoops. We'll get to the awards and then we'll get out of here. college ball. I want to give you this opportunity if you want to rant about your Kentucky Wildcats. If you want to, now they did have a nice win against Indiana, but
They did.
obviously there has been some turmoil in Lexington, Kentucky. So I just wanted to open up the floor. If you had anything to say, that maybe some other you don't get to have other platforms to express
No,
your
I appreciate it.
frustration. Yeah,
I
you're
appreciate
welcome.
that. And
You're welcome.
yeah, thank you. I
You're welcome.
I thank you. I feel like the way that I am not an overreactive fan. So, everybody, all the Kentucky
You
fans
you aren't. I know I said I open the floor, but you know me. I got to chime in.
open the floor.
Um,
I'm not overreactive. Yeah, you're
so
not, dude. Yeah, you're.
great, great thoughts, Ryan. Here's what I think. Um, last thing I'll say, and then I'll shove a microphone down my throat to make me stop talking. Um, I like Kentucky fans are crazy,
They're
and
insane.
like we've said, like, I'm not a Kentucky fan, but I love after games just looking up Kentucky basketball because I love seeing the reactions. After that Gonzaga game, some of the content that I saw was hilarious. Um,
Oh,
it,
I don't know
it's
which Twitter
crazy.
you were looking at because the content I had, which I was thinking like Pope better have security guards take him out of that place because somebody's going to
It,
kill him in Nashville. Like,
yeah,
I don't understand where we get this idea that every single game is a must win. Do I want to win every game? Absolutely. Who doesn't? Do I think is it out of the realm of possibility that this team isn't constructed as well as we thought? This team is underachieving. This team is injured. This team has a few excuses, but not enough to outweigh. I don't think they're going to be much better when they get fully healthy. They showed a glimpse of what it was against Indiana when they got Jalen Lowe back and Mo back, but I don't think this team is anything like last year's team where they kind of came out of the gates hot. They had good chemistry, all that stuff. So it's a completely different team. Every year is a new year, especially in college basketball or college athletics, the way that the transfer portal works. You don't have anybody the same guys that are cohesive like you used to. I know I sound like an old guy, but Jesus Christ, it's his second year. He's not even halfway through it, and everybody's wanting his head already. It's just crazy to me.
well, I think it's just the fans are
They're bad. They're bad. They can't shoot the basketball. They cannot shoot the basketball. They've got one
they're
guy
just
on the roster
tired.
tired
They're
of.
the fans are tired. They just want a team that is going to compete consistently. Um, and I think they just have not gotten that the last 5 or 6 years, if I'm correct. So
Here's the thing. It's gonna sound. Let me just say it. 2020 was the worst season for Kentucky basketball since I've been alive. They were freaking like 9-16 or some shit. They missed the tournament. There was no rhyme or reason. There was no injury. There's no Nerlens Noel tore his ACL type of year where we lose in the NIT. It was the worst basketball season I have seen, and we followed that up with good rosters, but disappointing ends the season. You lose in the first round or the second round for what feel like the last 4 or 5 years, and maybe that warranted Cal to be fired. Maybe it didn't. Some people say it does. But that's what you get when you fire a guy and you whiff on your three guys that you want to bring in. You didn't bring in Dan Hurley. You didn't bring in what's his face Nate Oates, the Alabama coach, and then you even whiffed on Scott Drew, who was like the fifth option or sixth option. Not saying that you settled for Mark Pope, but you settled for Mark Pope. So I
he
I just
wasn't the
don't
no, he
know,
wasn't the guy. He wasn't. He
and that's
wasn't when the
fine.
season ended. They weren't saying, "Let's go get Mark."
Correct. And did he overperform his first year? Absolutely. Did it set the expectations to championship or bust, which Kentucky fans are always expecting anyway, as am I. However, at some point you have to be realistic and pull the curtain back and go, it is a second year coach in the SEC trying to compete for a national championship with not a lot of talent on the team. Is that his fault? Absolutely. But he can't change it in the middle of the season. He can't trade players. So you kind of have to live with this year and hope he can figure it out next. And then if you get 5 years down the road and he's not doing any better than he is this year, then maybe it's time to go. But the overreaction crowd of Kentucky basketball is absolutely insane. You would think that we were going to win the national championship against Purdue. Now you'd think Mark Pope needs to be fired as of the Gonzaga game. And then he goes and wins Indiana, and it's like, oh, this team's back. It's like, no, they're still bad. They just had a good game. That's why I tweeted in
They
the
just,
group chat that we
the
have.
fans, they just, like you, they want to win. They just want
Everybody
that.
does.
Yeah. So
It's a tough
anyway,
landscape.
I want it. Yeah. Um, I guess we move on to the rankings.
Well,
There's
can I say something?
yeah. Go ahead.
I'm done with Kentucky, so I'm gonna fall in the trap again this year. I am fully back in the trap. It's not Sean Miller anymore, but damn it, Arizona's got me wrapped around their finger. It's like
Oh man,
I
they
don't
looked
know what
so
it
good the
is.
other night.
Uh,
They
They destroyed Alabama, and it's not even like that. It's just I
they got a
love the freshmen
awesome. They
they've
got an
got.
awesome freshman. They're the
Always
number one
do.
team.
They got a great
This
second
team,
guy.
no, when they play Colgate in the round of 32 or in the first round and they get beat, it's gonna break my heart.
Yeah, but I'll pick them to win the championship, and my bracket will be busted on week one, and they'll be
Yeah,
fine. But shout out Colgate.
yeah. Shout out Colgate. Good luck against those Wildcats.
I'm just letting you know now that we are in December. I'm gonna fall in the trap when we get to March. So just know.
I won't blame you at all. Taking a look at the AP top 25, like we mentioned, Arizona's number one. Michigan was a good team, but what they did during Feast Week was insane. They were killing teams by 30. They beat Gonzaga in the that Players Era tournament by 30. It was just insane what they were able to do. Duke is still undefeated. A team that I actually fell in love with, Iowa State, is undefeated. I watched a couple of their games during that Players Era, and what's really impressive about Iowa State is they have bigs that can handle the basketball, that play like guards. That's the big thing with them. Now you do have to forgive me. Their starting point guard went down. I'm not sure if he's back or not yet, but I mean he's one of the best point guards in the country. I apologize, I'm forgetting his name. Um, Lipsy, Lipsy,
Oh yeah.
senior point guard. But on top of that, man, they have forwards. Blake Buchanan. They have some guys that can go score the basketball. And they were really fun to watch. Joshua Jefferson's one of those guys, 6'9", 240, that can do it all. He can shoot from the outside. He's big. So Iowa State, I've kind of fallen in love with them.
They've always kind of had that. Like they've always been the team that
They just
likes
can't
either
make
tall
runs.
guards or tall wings that handle the ball. They were the first team that I can remember that had a 6'6" point guard and DeAndre Kane, who was nasty, wore number 55. Don't know why I remember that. And then they come out with Royce White. That could be a few years before or after. I'm kind of getting it mixed up. But Royce White was a 6'7" guard who could handle the ball. Like they've always had guys that were just, back then in 2012, 2011, they didn't, no 6'7" guy was dribbling the ball like that unless you were Kevin Durant.
No.
Royce White was not a household name, and yet they just had him out there in Iowa State, and he's balling.
Yeah. I want to give you a shout out. I guess this to make up for the Celtics thing. I specifically remember in our pretty much our preseason show for college basketball, you told me to keep an eye on those Vanderbilt Commodores, and those Vanderbilt Commodores are the number 13 team in the nation, and they are undefeated at 10-0. They went down to the Bahamas. They beat our Tops. Tops gave it a good fight though against the
Barely, yeah.
Commodores. But Vanderbilt, they, like you said, they look really good right now.
It's part of that thing where we talked about college basketball, and the landscapes change, and you don't have the same team every year. But when you can bring a team back, like Vanderbilt did, they brought a lot of guys back. It really helps you flow into the next season pretty seamlessly. So I
Yeah.
liked them last year. I really loved them this year. I don't think they're. If you're asking me, are they a top 10 team roster wise? If you were to put them against, pretty
Yeah.
much anybody below them, would I pick the other people? Yeah, probably. But as far as a consistently good team that's going to give you a good fight, especially in the SEC, yeah. I mean, I hate to say I called it, but yeah, I did.
Arkansas is right behind them at 8-2. Kansas, that's a team that I just at the beginning of the season, I felt like they were a top 25 team. Going into their matchup against what was it, Duke? I'm going blank. What's the tournament? Um,
The Champions Classic.
Champions Classic, thank you. They were barely hanging on to a top 25 spot, and then they lost that game. And I looked at that team. They were playing without Peterson, who's maybe going to be the number one overall pick. They're big, they're lengthy. I think by the time we get to the end of the season, this could be a really scary like 4 seed, kind of an underrated team. So they're sitting
That's a
there at
good
number
pull.
they're sitting there at number 17, and if you're looking for like sleepers, it's crazy to say that a blue blood's a sleeper, but everybody's gonna do like us. They're gonna fall in love with Iowa State. They're gonna fall in love with Arizona in these 1 seeds. I'm just like, Bill Self with not a lot of expectations. I'm gonna pray for you. So
And Peterson's been out. Like he
yeah,
played last game against NC State, but he sat the second half because I think he re-aggravated his calf. So you had a guy, I forget his name, but NC State's a good basketball team, and Melvin Council put up 36
yeah.
points to carry you in that game. It was an absolute beautiful performance, but Bill Self, he'll have one of those guys that just gets a performance like that, and
They're big. They are
yeah,
they're
Budunga is a problem.
Yeah, and like their forwards are lengthy. I'm just saying. By the time we get to tournament time, might wanna might
It's just
wanna buy some
unfortunate because
stock.
they also do not have a bench, which is tough. But you've
Yeah,
got
not
two guys
really.
off the bench playing 20 minutes, and they both scored 0 points in that game. Can't have that. You
No.
had let me look at it real quick, but I think they had two
Well, they're
bench
still
points the
yeah.
whole game.
Well, they're still having
So
that the freshman that they got. He's from Miami, Rosario. He's still trying to come along. 6'6" freshman. uh, Supposed to be a good shooter, but they're still trying to get him going. But yeah, Kansas right there at 17. St. John's has dropped down to 22. They had a slow start to the year, but anything else in the college basketball landscape before we move on to our awards?
yeah, I lied. Kansas had 0 bench points. So allow me to
Zero
correct
bench. That's a
myself.
problem, though. That's a
Yeah.
problem.
Um, St. John's, Kentucky play this weekend. We'll see which one's for real, and which one's faking it. I
Yeah,
think
that where is that game at?
I think it's in New York.
Okay, so they're probably going to play it in the Garden, Madison
The
Square Garden.
God, I think so. Let me versus St. John's. I think it's in New
Well,
York.
the Garden we're talking about is TD, so we
Yeah,
did the Boston
CBS
accent
Sports
there.
Classic. It is no, it's actually in State Farm Arena in Atlanta, Georgia. So it might turn into a blue scene over
Yeah,
there.
that'll be a home game for now. St. John's does travel their fans. They have some dedicated fans, not like Kentucky though. So it'll be a home game for Kentucky, but that'll be an interesting
And
one because
maybe
those are. Go ahead, go ahead.
sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say those are two desperate teams right now.
Well, that's what I was gonna
Kentucky
say.
loses that.
Desperate. Sorry, on my side you're lagging, so it's hard to tell when when you're still
Yeah, it
talking
might
or
be.
not.
Yeah, my Wi-Fi. It might be a little. It might be down a little bit. Am I back? Am I moving? Okay.
Yeah, but you're just pixelated. I look like I'm.
Okay. I got you good. You look absolutely
Appreciate that.
amazing. I
Okay,
don't know if you noticed, but I got a little bit of a beard going on. I don't think I look good with a
can't
beard
see
though. I
it.
don't. I don't think. Okay. See. This is a beard for me. Like
Well, no.
scruff.
When I mean pixelated, I mean you. I can't.
Oh,
You're
okay. So
like,
I'm just audio. Okay.
yeah.
Um. Anyways. Yeah. Two desperate teams. Uh. St. John's. If they lose that, you'll be sitting at 6-4. you just lost to an unranked Kentucky team, and then same can be said for Kentucky. You lose that game, it's another competitive team, top 25 team that you lost to. There's going to be panic. So yeah, two desperate teams.
I think it's a big game. One, you could get Jaden Quaintance back this weekend on that game, so a top 5 projected pick, top 10 projected pick coming back for Kentucky could be huge. But also, I'm interested to see Kentucky showed a lot of fight and a lot of physicality against Indiana. But what happens when you play a team that's physical? Like, are you for
Yeah,
real, or were you facing a team that isn't very physical and you just kind of babied them and it made you look like you're a big physical team? But let's see what happens when you actually play
yeah,
somebody like St. John's.
yeah. You're exactly right. That's the thing about St. John's is they're 6-3, but if they lose games, they're going to make you work for it. You're going to feel it. So that'll be very interesting. Well, that's college hoops. Let's get to the awards. Now we do apologize. We are behind a little bit, but we have some winners. So the last show that we did was the Monday before Thanksgiving. So we have to give our picks for the show that would have been on December 1st. We have to give our picks for the show that would have been on December 8th. And then we have to give our picks for the show that is tonight. So, and then we also are finished with the month of November. So we have our monthly award picks. What do we want to do first? Do we want to give the monthly awards for the two, or do you want to go with the players of the week?
We can do players of the week and see what
Players of the
we.
week. Gotcha. Well, we kind of agreed on the show that would have been on December 1st. We came up with Linsanity, Nikhil Alexander Walker. So beautiful job
Congrats.
from Nikhil Alexander Walker. He's been somebody that has really taken a step up scoring wise with Trey Young out. Jalen Johnson's been incredible. It's not just him. Nikhil Alexander Walker's averaging 25 and 30 points in a game. So, and he's not like that. That's not Nikhil Alexander Walker. So he's a nice role player. He's not a go-to scorer. So that's why he's in that Linsanity. So we added him to the roster. John Conchar of the Memphis Grizzlies was added. He had a pretty rough week that week of Thanksgiving. It's tough because there's not many games over the last 3 weeks, but off the bench, just kind of running around. So he's been added to Cardio King. Those are your two
Yeah.
winners for that show. We move to December 8th. I believe you have some picks. You have some picks. Go ahead and say for what would have been last week's show.
Well, so we agree on
Yes, we do. The Cardio
the
King,
Cardio King
Keon
award.
Ellis.
Now, yeah, he
Keon
had
Ellis
his.
posted a true Tony Snell game.
What
Zeros
the
across
award
the
was
board.
created for. This is what the award was created for. You can't have it be created and then not acknowledge what just happened with Keon Ellis. I don't care what happens the rest of the week. He could score 50 the day after, but he did put up the
Zeros.
Tony Snell.
0-0-0-0. I don't even think he had a shot attempt. That is why, because we've had some games on here where it's zeros across the board, but they're like 0 of 9
Yeah.
teaser from the field shooting wise. So, but Keon Ellis literally, and I want to thank one of the best NBA Twitter accounts out there, Rob Perez. He
Mm.
was he was the one
Follows
that,
me.
yes, I've been jealous of that my entire life. So that's wild happened in college. Anyways, going back to Keon Ellis, he's the reason why I figured that out, because he was the one that kind of subtweeted the stat and was like, "We have our first Tony Snell game or of the season" or something like that. So shout out there. But I have a Linsanity pick, but I want to go
Yep,
with
so do I.
yours. Who was it? Who was it last week?
So last week, I thought he had a tremendous week, December 1st through the 8th, or I guess it'd be, yeah. Is that right?
Yes,
Because that would be
correct,
the week of the 8th. Okay.
correct.
My pick is Kevin Porter Jr. of the Milwaukee Bucks. Had an outstanding week of games. He started his game on December 1st with 30 points, 4 rebounds, 5 assists, 3 steals, going 12 of 15 and 5 of 6, respectively, shooting. And then he followed that up on December 3rd with a 26-point night versus the Detroit Pistons. 3 of 8 from 3, also had 7 assists that night. The Sixers, the next game, 20 points, 7 rebounds, 9 assists, almost a triple-double. And then December 6th, it's 4 games in 6 days, and he put up 32 points against the Pistons, going 7 of 9 from 3 with 6 assists, 4 steals, and 4 rebounds. Just an absolute dominant performance for that week for Kevin Porter Jr.
Yeah, I'm gonna mark that down and say that's our pick. I have one not good as numbers as Kevin Porter Jr. Porter Jr. is supposed to be the man. Was it Houston? He was in Houston, and some
Yeah.
stuff happened, and he's trying to get back. But when he's going, he's going. He's a lot of
Yeah.
fun to watch. Um,
Who was your pick?
Mine was Jordan Walsh of the Boston Celtics. He had a couple of games. Um, that's a smile that I don't know what it's about, but the reason why Jordan Walsh, he had a couple of games that week. One was against the Wizards. He dropped 22.7 rebounds, and then the next one was 17 points. He knocked down 4 threes. Jordan Walsh, they need some guys to step up for the Celtics, and he's a guy who coming into this year was averaging 1.6 points per game. He's averaging 7.5 points per game in 13 starts. Second round pick in 2023 out of Arkansas. Jordan Walsh was my pick, but
So,
not as good as Kevin Porter Jr. this past week.
do you want me to tell you why? Well, obviously, there was a lot of games being played that week. He was actually my pick for this week because there's only
The
a
one.
lot of teams
Okay,
had
okay.
one game. A lot of teams had one, or a lot of players had one game this week, so it's kind of hard to choose. I mean, if you go
Yeah.
off of the 2 games, it's going to be a lot of the stars because the good teams are advancing.
Okay.
So he was going to be my one pick for this week.
Well, you
But
know what we can do? I got to be honest with you. I don't even want to say my Linsanity pick because I was
is it Marvin Bagley Jr.?
no, it was Dominic Barlow. I came up
Oh,
with Dominic Barlow. He coming off the bench for the Pistons. He had some games that were, but you know what? Because of the few amount of games, I'm totally fine with let's put Walsh
well,
in there. Let's give him
okay.
some love.
Yeah, because Marvin Bagley is the only one that comes close. He had 19 points, 14 rebounds over this past week, but it was only over 2 games, obviously, because a lot of teams weren't playing, unless you're,
No, it's
part of the NBA
forget
coach. So
forget Barlow. I'll already put it in there. So well, we're
show
caught
out
up
Jordan
now.
Walsh.
We're
Well,
caught
we
up
got to
now
do
with our
the
Linsanity picks.
yeah.
Nikhil
We just
Alexander
got one
Walker,
more.
Kevin Porter Jr., Jordan Walsh are a part of the roster.
Congratulations.
So we still have Ryan Rollins as the two-time winner. Has just
And he
had
deserves
a
it.
phenomenal season, and we're in disbelief. It's Rinsanity. Nope, never mind. That's strike 4.
Yeah, you should be done. You're done.
We
We
do
need to
we do
go
have one.
over. Yeah.
we we do have one more cardio king of the week before we get to the monthly awards. So you have one that you're actually really excited about. I'm kind of excited about mine as well. So this
Okay.
might come down to where we're battling it out. Do you want
Wait,
me to go?
I'll go ahead and go first because you
Because
already
we
know it.
we kind of know.
Yeah. So we've mentioned it 3 times in the show where there's teasers. Sam Hauser is my shitbag of the year, but he's going to
Oh
do it for
my
this
god,
week as well.
that is not an
And the
award.
fact
Shit bag of the year is a crazy
he
award.
is
Continue.
the cardio king of the week. It doesn't help that his bench player partner was the Linsanity player for this week already, Jordan Walsh. Having the teammate next to you just sucking ass the entire time. Let's see what he did. Obviously, we still only had 1 game, but we could still take it back to 2
I
games if we
mean,
really wanted to. But he put up 22 minutes, 0 points, for 10 from the field, 0 for 9 from 3. The guy just couldn't hit a shot. If you don't know, that's what he's paid to do for the Boston Celtics, just not this year, apparently. Sam Hauser, 1 game showing, but he's shown me multiple times this year that it's just not
Yeah.
his year.
Yeah. That's an awful game. That's no sugarcoating it. Why I might push back though is because he did have 7 boards. So he was boxing out. He was
He
grabbing
did.
the basketball a little bit. Um,
Yeah.
my guy that I
Fundamentals.
picked was not doing that. The only thing that he was doing was fouling guys. And that is from the rival team of the Boston Celtics, the Los Angeles Lakers. It's the 29-year-old from Santa Barbara, Gabe Vincent. Wednesday against the San Antonio Spurs and a must-win game, NBA Cup game. You're playing for some extra $1 million that you can add on to your Los Angeles home, Gabe Vincent. Played 14 minutes, 0 points,
Mm.
0 rebounds, 0 assists, 0 blocks, 0 steals, 1 shot attempt. He missed it. 0 for 1. Um, if he doesn't have a shot attempt, we're literally talking about a Tony Snell game from Gabe
Yeah.
Vincent. 14 points, 3 fouls. Uh,
He did follow it up with 5 points though.
that's where we have. That's where we have the
So the
pushback.
the 2.5 points per week
You know what?
is really gonna push
I think we
back.
should have some fun with this and root for these guys to fail tonight. In their next
I love
games,
that.
and
And let's
we're
see.
gonna.
Take a look at who's playing. Sam Hauser's playing the Detroit Pistons, #1 seed in the East, so he might have a rough night
Okay,
tonight if he's not
okay,
hit his
that's
first
tonight.
shot.
But then we'll have to wait for Gabe Vincent when the Lakers actually don't play for a couple of days. Let's see. Sorry, I thought I had the schedule pulled up. Let's check Wednesday. Nope. Okay, Gabe Vincent's getting some time to. What is going on? Okay, so they play the Utah Jazz, a finals team. Then the
And
Utah
in 2 years,
Jazz. That's a tough matchup.
yeah.
Do we want to wait that long
No, we can pick one. Let's pick
or
one.
pick one right now?
I say we pick one. I will concede and go Gabe Vincent strictly off the boards. 7 boards is a good number. He wasn't doing nothing. He just couldn't hit a shot.
It was
Unfortunate.
bad shooting night. Bad shooting
Bad
night.
shooting night. Gabe Vincent had a bad night,
It
and
just
that's
Gabe Vincent didn't do anything. So
yeah,
yeah, we'll go Gabe Vincent tonight. It would be a lot more fun if both of them were playing tonight, but I would just hate to wait. I hate to wait all the
yeah,
way for Thursday to
yeah.
make that decision. So Gabe Vincent,
Because Boston could
welcome.
play 2 games by then.
Yeah, well, welcome to the squad. We still don't have a two-time
Welcome.
winner. Sam Hauser is probably now the closest.
Mm. What I think we need to do is at the end of the year, we need to build our best squad of Linsanity and so like we go through every single pick and see can we make a starting let's go a rotation of eight
Starting
guys
lineup,
and see a rotation of
and
eight
then
guys. Yeah. And see if we can win. Maybe run it on 2K and see what the sim does.
oh my god, that would be incredible. What would be awesome if Linsanity just absolutely demolishes the which would not make
Yeah.
sense because on paper the Cardio King team is better, I feel like, on paper. They have more veterans. The Linsanity has more guys who on 2K maybe their overalls are not there yet because they're shocking performances.
Yeah.
So that might just be me. But like, a
That's
starting
why it'd be fun
five.
to see.
Oh, it'll be awesome. I can't wait. I'll come over. No, we'll get it. We'll I'll drive all the way up for this game. We can make a day of it. Heck, I might drink that day. I might throw down like a summer shandy I will not. I'll get like a Sprite or something. I'll bring
Yeah.
a jug of sweet tea and we'll act like it's the finals and it'll be great. This will be perfect because I said that I was going to buy the jersey of um the jersey of the player that won Linsanity. I'll wear my Cedric Coward jersey
Oh,
to
early
the house.
call.
So Ryan
Okay.
Rollins jersey.
Yeah.
I don't know. I've kind of fallen in love with AJ Mitchell this year. I think you can tell that because I feel like I picked him every week. So um, anyway, so
You
that's our
have.
weekly awards. We got to get to. I meant for this episode to go like 45 minutes, and we're getting like
That,
we're
that's how
pushing a
it
little
goes
bit.
every time.
Yeah. So real quick, monthly awards. Oh shit! I thought he retired. This obviously the explanation is in the award. It's a player. We might see that it's still in the league, and we say to ourselves in our mind or to ourselves, I said it to myself when I saw that he was still in the league. I literally said, oh shit. I cannot believe he's still playing basketball. I've actually already mentioned his name, and that's Garrett Temple. Uh, Garrett Temple. Now, what I want to say with these awards, I think we keep both of our picks. We don't just come up with one. We do it. You know how the Western Conference, Eastern Conference, they both have like a monthly player of the award. I think we should keep mine and
Okay.
yours for the monthly,
Well,
and we
and
come up with that. So
it'll
mine
work
is
out because my it'll work out because my oh shit player, the I can't believe that guy hasn't retired. He's old as fuck. Year award is um, Jeff Green of the Houston Rockets. I didn't even realize that guy was still playing basketball,
Jeff Green.
let alone getting minutes.
Yeah.
Jeff
Um,
Green.
Well, he went bald too. That's the thing. So he looks like a totally new pro. You know, he used to always have the nice little hairdo. So I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure he's bald now. And that's the thing is I
What's yeah? And can you tell me what the hairdo is called, Mister Hargrove?
it's nope, nope.
Okay,
I'm the last. Listen, I'm the last person that needs to be talking about hair, so I'm not gonna name it.
fair.
What's the hairdo
You just
called?
gave me. I don't know. You gave me the box, so I didn't know
Well,
what that
it
was.
looks
Or
like a box. It kind of
yeah, okay.
does, but it's a not. Jeff Green is a beautiful human being. So that's what
Don't
I'm
have
gonna
to defend
say.
him.
He can be bald. He can be whatever.
Yeah,
He can be what we thought he was retired. He's a beautiful man, and he's on our awards. Jeff Green, he's a champion. He's an NBA champion. He brought happiness. One of the happiest moments of my life. He helped make that happen. He was crucial on the Denver Nuggets. So I love Jeff Green.
I thought he retired after that.
Yeah, yeah. So there you go. Garrett Temple still plays for the Toronto Raptors. Jeff Green is on the Houston Rockets. There you go.
And can
There
we
we
get
go.
an honorary? Or oh shit! I thought the guy retired for
Go
Philip
ahead.
Rivers, who came back in the NFL. Shout out
Oh
Philip
my
Rivers. Oh shit!
gosh.
I thought he retired because he
I
actually did
thought he was
retire.
done. Hey man,
Didn't we all?
I tell you what, I got to be honest with you. I've been checked out of the NFL this year. I have, and I think it has a lot to do with this. This team has just pissed me off this year. I still got the jersey, and I'm going to watch the game. It's just because all sports fans know when they suck, you try to find the motivation to get in front of the TV and watch them. So, but
I apologize to the fans for what I've just started. I didn't even realize what I was doing.
no, anyways, I'm sorry. Yeah, that'll be it. What I say, but what I meant is I have not had motivation to turn Sunday Night Football on or turn on like I've been checked out this year. But man, when Philip Rivers was starting yesterday, I watched almost that entire game because I was very invested and I was rooting for him. And I got to be honest with you, it wasn't bad. He was not. He was not bad. He
He
could not slow
does.
the ball down the field.
He does
Um,
look like a T Rex, but he also looks like me. He's gained a few pounds out there, and I don't
yeah,
know if
but you
that's
know what?
just
There's a lot. There's some backup quarterbacks in this league that could have not done that yesterday.
not
So
lost.
he
Yeah,
gave
it's
him a
true.
chance to win. Now I will say, like, turn this into a football podcast. There was a play in the third quarter. I don't think it was on him. There was an maybe a little out route. It turned into where the receiver was just going downfield down the sideline, and Rivers threw it. It was to Downs. Downs, a wide receiver for Indianapolis. The ball was a little bit to
Josh.
Downs' right, but it was on a third down, and it was midway through the third quarter. If he would have caught that ball, that would have got him into field goal range. They would have built some momentum, and they had the lead. but Downs, instead of when he turned his head, he looked at the quarterback instead of looking up into the air, and he wasn't able to shift his body to go and catch the football. And I was kind of like, dude, you got to help out your quarterback a little bit there. So, they make that play. I think things are different. Anyways, yeah, Philip Rivers, I know I went on, but yeah, honorable mention on, yeah, screw it.
Honorable.
I'll add 44-year-old Philip Rivers. Last award is the traffic cone. um, this one's awesome. It's pretty much worst defensive player, and I think
Yeah.
I went about this pretty simple. Who's the worst defensive team in the NBA? It's the Washington Wizards. It's the team representing our nation's capital. It's the team representing all wizards out there in the wizarding world of Harry Potter. They're probably ashamed. That's probably why they go to other sports and not basketball. Um, who's the worst defensive player on that team? It's CJ McCollum. CJ McCollum has the worst defensive rating in the NBA on the worst defensive team in the NBA. And that's my pick. If you want a traffic cone, if CJ McCollum walked out into the middle of, schools are trying to get through for traffic, and he would be the perfect man to stop. Everybody would see him a mile away and they would know to slam on the brake. Or sorry, traffic cone means you're not stopping anybody. You're just standing there in the lane. You can't play defense. So I guess the other way around. Anyways, long story short, it's CJ McCollum. That's my pick.
Well, it's funny you brought him up earlier. I told you the reason I said Joe Ingles was my honorable mention for oh shit, I thought he retired because I really did think he retired. Even though I watched basketball all the time, I knew he was on the Timberwolves. I just forgot when he came in and played one day. I was like, oh shit, yeah. So, and you said his name earlier. Another guy you said was Keontae George, who statistically is the worst defender in basketball right now, and it's not even close. Statistically, by far and away, the worst defender is Keontae George, and you can say all you want about his offense. He's great offensively. He is maybe even better at being shit defensively, if that makes sense. So the defense on how poorly he plays outweighs how good he is offensively, and it brings him back to a negative on my
Yeah.
side. I don't know what these stats are, if I'm being completely honest, but right now it shows that Keontae George, Cam Thomas, and Trey Young are fighting for first in November on the worst uh, defensive rating in the NBA.
Yeah. His brother too, Kaishan George, is top 10 in worst defensive rating too. So, both of those guys playing pickup against each other growing up, it just must have been um the quickest
The
games
family didn't
ever.
care much about
No,
learning
no.
defense.
Yeah, what are we going to work on today? You're going to work on shooting. Well, what about sliding feet? No, absolutely not. You're going to learn how to handle the basketball, and
No
and and
shot.
that's it. So, but yeah, I can get behind that one. Unfortunately, I was praising him earlier, and now here he is on the traffic cone.
Well, and don't forget, we're having two. This is two picks um because it's like every monthly award. So we each get our own. So you have picked CJ McCollum, and I've gotten Keontae George, and I think
Deontay
Keontae
George.
George, if we were choosing against each other, is a better fit just because he's 23 years old. CJ McCollum's old. He's a vet. He doesn't need to
You're
play
right.
defense. Like
Not
we're
good look for
past that.
George. Yeah,
Keontae George is young and spry. He needs to get his ass on
he
defense
needs to get
and learn how to
he
play a little
needs
bit.
to he needs to spread the legs. I don't know if you can see, but like good defensive stance right here, hands up, ball, 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 right there, hand in the face. So it's just not enough of that. So
Spoken from a true basketball athlete.
that's how you do it. All right, that's gonna do it tonight. Just absolutely fun show
Yeah.
talking hoops. We got our awards in. Credit to us because
Mm.
we were excited about this season, but there's always in the back of our mind, are we going to be able to keep this up? And we know there's been a couple of weeks where we've missed, but overall I would give us a B plus. We've been doing a pretty good job. Um, yeah, hopefully
We're
too.
trying our damnedest. We are giving everything we've got.
We are for a podcast that we don't get paid for. We are doing a heck of a fine job. So, um, we definitely will be back for a show before Christmas because I want to come up with some game. It might be really stupid. I want to come up with some game, um, for the Christmas games. I think that would be a lot of fun. We can.
I don't know. Your jokes today, they landed. So you might, and I might not be
Well,
that
you'll be
stupid.
hosting that one, so these will actually be like good ideas. So, um, I don't know. Maybe it's the pressure. Maybe I just, a little nervous today. Um, so, anyways, any final thoughts?
All right.
Any final thoughts?
None from me. We'll see you next week.
All right. Merry Christmas. Happy Hanukkah. Happy Kwanzaa. See ya.